coerced by a person who I really respect to do this. And I'm not going to say his name, but I think everyone knows who he is. You must have noticed the name of the session, Engaging the Buddha in Today's World, a Universal Perspective. As we have been discussing throughout the session today, we are kind of staying a little away from the ism of Buddhism. Reason being, the moment we use the word ism, a lot of people get a little detached, or they feel that it has got some other connotations, and and they are deprived of the benefits of the doctrine that we are talking about today. So who is the Buddha, or who is a Buddha? A Buddha is basically present in each and every one of us. Like, for example, someone was today asking about God particle, which is something non-existent. We kind of have the Buddha particle in all of us. It is simply by the delusions that we are in that this Buddha is supposed to be covered. But which Buddha are we engaging today? There have been many Buddhas across the eons as per Buddhist history over thousands of years. But the latest Buddha, the Buddha whose teachings are said to be currently prevalent in today's world, is Shakyamuni Buddha, who was born 2,500 ago, the prince turned hermit. The Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha's doctrine has been, since it first started, it kind of revolutionized Asia fully. It got transmitted across Central Asia, across East Asia. It was accepted by, and his teachings were implemented by kings like from Ashoka to Kublai Khan, and it sheathed the sword of many a conqueror. So the Buddha's doctrine has been engaged in history for hundreds and hundreds of years, until a certain point of time where kind of maybe because of other influences and all that, it to an extent you can say it got erased from many places. Fortunately for Tibet, all the ancient texts of Nalanda University were preserved in Tibetan through the translated works in about 84,000 verses, 84,000 verses, and those translations are almost nearly exact replicas of what the Sanskrit text existed in Nalanda University. And now, fortunately for us, gradually there's a project that's going on which is slowly translating those verses into English as well. Okay, so that's about how the Buddha's philosophy or doctrine was prevalent in the world earlier. So today, in this conference, we were talking about his doctrines, how they relates to the world of physics, to philosophy, to psychology. But there are so many other subjects, other doctrines that are prevalent in the world, which may not directly fall under the capsule of the Buddha's doctrine. But obviously there are a number of similarities. That is why we have called it a universal perspective, because the panelists you see here today have a lot of varied background. Like Venerable Tenzin Palrum, for example, of course, she is a practicing Buddhist, as you can see, and she is actually a qualified psychologist who had a brilliant career as a psychologist, but she gave it up to become a nun. Why? She'll be able to tell you, and maybe she'll tell us a little bit at this panel. We have Mr. Yeshidorji Tongchi, who is a born Buddhist from the Sherlukpen tribe in Arunachal Pradesh. We all know he's a celebrated writer, and immediately, as of now, he has translated Bodhicharya Avatara, which is a very, very highly respected and influential text in Buddhism, which, due to Tongchi sir's efforts, hopefully it will be soon out in Assamese as well. I'm not publishing it, by the way, yet. It's not a business here, please. And then we have Dr. Indrani Phukan-Barua, who's a psychologist and who's going to give us her perspective through positive psychology. Okay. Then Dr. Shakuntala Bora, philosopher, and I think you are going to enlighten us a little bit on Nagarjuna today. Okay. And Mona Lisa Pingrop, who's a veterinary doctor, very compassionate towards animals and people, and she is going to talk a bit on compassion today. And Miss Indrani Laskar, as you heard, she's translated some of His Holiness's works into Assamese, and she's going to share some of her experiences with us. Okay, so that's about it as a chairperson. Now I would like to request Venerable Thalron so what we'll do is we'll just talk for 10 minutes each, and after that maybe have a discussion between us or the audience, and you can remain seated. Yeah, let's keep it like that.
Yeah, so we